Good morning. It's 1:45 on a Friday morning, and this is my third video on my thoughts and musings about songwriting. And I've had some nice comments and insights and criticisms about the first two and interests, so it's motivating me to do a third video. Right now I have to drink a cup of coffee. The Think Drink. So, what I want to talk about in this video is the creative process, my creative process. When I thought about it, I realized, it varies. I have different ways of creating. I get in different moods. I'm inspired different ways. Sometimes, it's working. Sometimes it's boom, hey, I got an idea. Well, I'd like to talk about the creative process for a song that I wrote that I'm proud of, and we still sing it. I sing it in the band I'm in. I wrote it before I was in the band. It's called Before the Night Is Through. And the song was first recorded on the first solo CD I did, titled Before the Night Is Through, which was engineered and mixed and produced, so to speak, by my good friend and now bandmate Frank Kozak. Frank played bass and various instruments on the album, and that's how we kind of eventually formed a band. We went through Blues Box Deluxe, and now the Bohemian Mechanics. That's when I first recorded the song. I'd written it maybe, I don't know, a year and a half before. The musical content, it's nothing earth-shaking. It's in the key of G, and the intro and the verses are G to C9. There's kind of a pre-chorus. That's E minor, C, A minor, G, B in the bass, D sus 4, D, back to G, G, C, G, C9, G. And the bridge goes to B minor 7 to C, B minor 7 to C, A minor 7 to D, sus, D, back to G, and that's pretty much the musical content. I don't think I left any chords out. But the real aspect of the song, what I want to talk about, is the whole concept of the song, the creative process, what's going on, what it means to me. And it might mean something to somebody else. I love that thing where somebody asked, what does this song mean? And the songwriter said, well, what does it mean to you? Really, you can't tell somebody what the song, you can tell somebody what the song means, but it may not mean that to them. People put their own meanings on things. And one of the things about this song, I hope I'm not rambling too much, is it's one of those songs that I call a sound movie that I'm writing. I see it in my mind. I'm trying to convey what I see through the lyrics and the music. I love movies and I love short stories, and I think of short stories a lot, equating with a song, a short song as compared to like a sonata or a long musical piece. Get your point across in a certain amount of time. And I like songs, I like books and movies, to transcend reality, to just get in, fall into that, and transcendental. So Before the Night Is Through, and it started out as one of those songs, where it was, oh, what's the song about? It's about everything, That's always a mess. But I realized, here I am writing a song about everything. So it was everything that was kind of going on in my life at the time. So it has a kind of a timeline to it, a beginning and end, a middle. And it's kind of a journey from the beginning to the end. And the beginning of the song starts out in New York City, Greenwich Village. I was in a band, JD and the Ravens, and we played a house gig at Kenny's Castaways on Bleecker Street. We used to go outside on our breaks and just hang out and, get into the whole street culture out there. And we met a street person by the name of Art. And I believe the first time we met him, he came up to us and he pulls from behind his back a picture frame, sticks it in front of his face, no picture in it, just the frame, and says, "Hi, man, my name is Art. I've been framed." And, you get some laughs, he would get some laughs, maybe make a few bucks. We became friends with the guy. He'd often, watch our van for us when we were loading in and loading out for a couple of bucks. So Art's in there, and I talk about Memphis, where I wanted to go at the end. And there's kind of a dream dream verse. So I'll go. So the first verse, it's about standing outside of, you know, I'm hanging out on Bleecker Street, chilling in the New York rain, waiting for a village angel to come and take away my pain. And some people think that's a drug reference. I wasn't referring to drugs or sex, or I was just, you know, come on down, honey, and whatever you can do, you know. I need some relief. So, and then I talk about Lady Luck. I saw Lady Luck crying, not wearing any shoes. You know, it was around, things were tough in New York at the time. And and she ducked into the alley for a meeting with the blues. Yeah. Second verse is about art. You know, it talks about, hi, my name is Art. Get the picture I've been framed. Then he stared into my eyes and asked me, do you have any change? Can you spare any change? Then the next part of the verse kind of refers to my divorce that I was going through at the time. And it's me and Baby Doll been fighting lately. Things are getting rough. I get the sinking feeling. She's finally had enough. And then it goes into ain't got no answers, ain't got no clue. I'm just trying to do the right thing before the night is through. In other words, I didn't have any answers to all these different things that are going on, and I'm just trying to get it right. So it finally gets to the bridge, and the bridge is the more you think about it, the less makes sense. It's getting mighty crowded up on this fence, but I keep on dreaming as best as I can. Hey, I got this routine as a song and dance man. And the more you think about it, the less makes sense is an expression that some guy that I was in a band with in the 60s would always use, and it just stuck with me. The thing about song and dance man is something that I heard Bob Dylan say at an early press conference when they asked him, what was he? Was he a musician? Was he an entertainer? Was he a spokesman? Was he folk singer? And he said, I kind of think of myself as a song and dance man. And I always liked that. Thanks, Bob. Then there's the dream verse, where psychedelic lullabies go drifting through my mind. And where the queen of dreams is whispering to me, so hauntingly sublime. That's a line I got from an interview I read with Jeff Buckley, R.I.P. His father was Tim Buckley, a folk singer in the 60s, lived a short life, did a couple albums. Well, he talked about, he was referring to as a kid, sleeping upstairs. He'd hear the music his hippie parents were playing downstairs, and they were like, he said he would fall asleep to psychedelic lullabies. Great line. So I used that. Psychedelic lullabies go drifting through some back room in my mind. That the queen of dreams is humming to me. So the lyrics are, I'm just another stowaway on this crazy ship of fools. The world. To direction points unknown, because the wind makes all the rules. And there's a pre-chorus, and finally the last verse is I was hanging out on Beale Street. So I go from New York City to Memphis. Never been to Memphis, always wanted to go there. Went to Memphis in my mind. And I reference Beale Street instead of Village Angel. I call her a sweet soul angel. Please take away my pain. And we did a lot of Otis, and I listened to him a lot. Sweet soul angel, come and take away my pain. It talks about I swear I heard the ghost of Otis Redding singing Dock of the Bay. So I ran down Macklemore Street. It's Macklemore, but I read where they pronounce it Macklemore, and the music flew away. And ain't got no answers, ain't got no clues. I'm just trying to do the right thing. I'm not really sure what I should do. I'm just trying to do the right thing before the night is through. and then it goes out, what you call a coda. It's going back and forth, and I'm ad-libbing a little. One of the things I ad-lib is, I keep saying trying to do the right thing before the night is through, and sometimes I gotta dance to keep from crying, but I just keep on trying. Dance to keep from crying. That's something a line from a Smokey Robinson in the Miracle song. So I got a lot of references in there from people that I admire and things that impressed me, and that's the song. I hope it made some sense. The whole musical journey, sound movie thing. I think I accomplished something with that, and I hope it was of interest to you, and you got something out of that. It wasn't really instructions on how to write a song. It was just, again, talking about one of the creative processes that I used to write a song.